Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Look at verse 9 and 10 here. Live joyfully with a wife whom you love all the days of your vain life, which he has given you under the sun, all your days of vanity. For that is your portion in life and in the labor which you perform under the sun. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. For there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you're going. I'm talking today simply from the subject passion. Passion, passion, passion. It's really the thing that makes life go around, the world go around. It's passion. I wouldn't want to live a dull life that has no passion in it. You know, there are some people that have dated folks and they kissed the person and they just felt no passion in the kiss. You may as well just keep it if you don't have any passion in it. I hate for people to extend their hand to be shaked, and there is no passion in the handshake. It's just limp, like a wet dish rag. You ought to have passion in what you do. You ought to, I mean, whatever it is that you do it with your might. If you're going to try something on, you know, it's all right to just have somebody who's just going to be efficient and point you to what you need. But I love somebody who understands what it is to serve people. They understand customer service. They understand what it means to get to know the person and to find out the occasion and how they can really help you best. And that person that goes the extra mile because they are doing what they do with all of their might. Now, if you ever are in a situation where you have to choose between money and passion, always go for your passion. I hear people asking the question a lot, should I go for something that I'm passionate about or should I go for the money? Go for the passion. And see, the truth of the matter is that if they really had passion already, they wouldn't be asking that question. They really wouldn't. But here's the good news of the gospel. It is never too late to discover your passion. Never too late. It's never, ever too late to discover your passion. I don't care how old you are, you can become passionate at an older age. One of my friends in ministry didn't come into the passion of what God called him to do till he was 59 years old. I'm just glad to know it's never too late to discover your passion. And I find that whenever I'm working in my area of passion, you're doing something that you're passionate about, hours go by and you forget to eat. Sometimes you may go days without really sleeping properly and don't even really notice it because you're working on adrenaline energy because you have tapped into your passion. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The way you were doing something that you really enjoyed and you didn't even notice time. How do you know if you have found your passion? How do you know that? How on the earth do you even know when you've found your passion? Well, I'm just telling you, if you're at a crossroads in your life and you've asked yourself the question of passion or money, I recommend that you go for passion every time. You will know that you have found your passion when you're doing things and nobody's even paying you to do it. Or it seems like time just stand still while you're doing that thing. But here's some reasons that I would tell you to go for passion over money. Here's some reasons. Number one is that the days are longer if you're not passionate about what you're doing. The days are longer. You know how all of us had to start off, doing jobs that we really weren't passionate about? I mean, that was one time I was working in a health food store cutting cheese. I really wasn't passionate about cutting that cheese. I dreaded going to cut cheese. But I was a pretty good cheese cutter after a while. Because I had resolved in my mind that whatever you do, whatever you find your hand to do, do it with your might. Do it with your might. You may as well make the best out of whatever it is. Very few people ever start off in their passion. How many of you know that you've got to do what you've got to do until you can do what you want to do? But the days are so much longer if you are not passionate about what you're doing. Have you ever been with somebody that was really, really fun to be with? And while you're with that person, time just zips by. And you're with another person that's a stick in the mud. And you wonder if your watch is broken. Because it's like, oh my God, oh God, another 25 minutes with them. And you look at your watch and you think that the time is almost up and only 5 minutes has passed. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Your days are longer when you deal with no passion. I mean, but imagine what it could feel like to work for 8 or 9 hours and not even realize that it has been that long. That's what passion will do for you. So always go for passion over money. Here's a second reason. Working for money is tiring and soul destroying in the long run. In the long run, I mean, you'll make the money. Working with passion means that you never have trouble trying to get up out of the bed to go to work because you're doing something that you love to do. Now, you might question how a person can be expected to be picky in their line of work in times of tight budgets and if you have responsibilities. But the short answer to this is that these times won't last. They don't last forever. They don't last forever. And so if it's something that you can't change tomorrow, you can't change it tomorrow, and if you can't do anything about it right now, at least start planning for it right now so that you're ready when the tide turns. Start planning. I mean, one of the things that can make your enduring a job that you're not really thrilled about being at is for you to go home and start dreaming about doing the thing that you're passionate about. Start planning it, start researching it, start talking to people who are already involved in it. Start looking in that direction. It will keep you motivated when it's time to make the donuts, but you're not passionate about making the donuts. But how many of you understand that you got to make the donuts until you can make your dough in your passion? You know what I'm talking about? There's something, and you got to be there making those donuts, already seeing yourself operating in whatever it is that you want to do. You got to see yourself running your own business. You got to see yourself writing books. You got to see yourself producing the CD. You got to see yourself with your own cleaning business. You got to see yourself with the stuff already in action while you're making donuts for somebody else. And you could care less about donuts. But the thing that allows you to make the donuts with gusto and enthusiasm is because you're working on something. It doesn't matter where you work, it matters what you're working on. Stop waiting on stuff and start working on stuff. Are you listening? You got to work on something while you're waiting on it. I mean, you got to do your passion. You got to moonlight and do your passion while you're doing your other stuff to pay the bills. I mean, I understand that. You can't just tell a person, just quit your job and just start doing your passion. You start doing your passion, you're going broke. And so, but very little that is worthwhile and sturdy was ever built on the whim of one day. So take your time, plan it, and research it. Here's number 3. The reason that you ought to choose passion over money is because should your money fade, at least you'll still have your passion. If your money fades, you'll still have your passion. You see, this is a very privileged position. There are a lot of people who have not found their passion. And then when you are able to get passion and money together, my God, it'll be mind-blowing. If you can ever get paid for what you're passionate about, it will be mind-blowing. But you see, money can fade, but nobody has the ability to make your passion fade. You'll still be passionate about stuff, even if nobody will allow you to do it. A lot of folks don't know the first 3 years that I spent in ministry, I wasn't spending money in time in ministry so I could get paid. Every dime that I earned in ministry, my first 3 years, I gave it back to the ministries. I just sent it right back. They'd pay me, bam, and I'd boomerang it right back. I sold for the first 3 years. The first 3 years. I'm not just talking about $25. I'm talking about $2,000. You know what I mean? I sold for the first 3 years. I just sold it back. You know why? Because I didn't get in ministry for money. I got in ministry because I was called in ministry, and that was a passion in my heart to do ministry, to do what God called me to do. There's a passion. Here's number 4. The reason that you ought to choose passion over money is because it's harder to be misdirected from your path when you have passion. Nobody can talk me into doing something else. Coming and being a corporate speaker. Don't ever get it twisted about stuff that you can do and what you are called to do. Your passion is going to be connected to your call. And there are a lot of things that could misdirect you, and folks telling you, come over here, do this, do that, do the other thing. And you don't have a passion for that, even though you might have an ability for that. You understand? I mean, I could probably learn how to make donuts pretty good, but I'm not passionate about making donuts. You have to go by what your passion is. I met a lady one time. She had a title here in Atlanta at one particular time, and I was on my way out of the country. And she said to me, you know, I've got one child. She said, I've got two children. Both of them are musically gifted. But the one who's got the stronger gift has no passion for it. And the one with a mediocre gift is just passionate about it. I said, what in the world do you do? And she was trying to push the one who had the strong gift in the music to go into the music. But they were like, you know, Mama, I can take music or leave it. But the other one, boy, they would die for a contract. They would die for an opportunity to go on tour with somebody. They would die for it. But the ability was mediocre. Well, let me just tell you this. If you got mediocre ability and passion, your ability will not stay mediocre for long. It will not. It will not stay mediocre for long. Whenever you get a stronger gut feeling on the inside of you, that's because of a passion. It comes from having studied in an area of interest for a long time. You become more confident about yourself and about your subject whenever you've got this real passion on the inside of you. Here's a fifth reason that you ought to believe in passion over money. It's because not many people are fulfilled by money. Some people just think that money is everything. Money ain't everything. There's somebody shoot off their mouth to me telling me the scriptures. And they'll quote a scripture in the Old Testament that says, money answereth all things. Money can only answer all financial things. Are you listening? Now, if money, listen to me carefully. Listen, just use your common sense. Bring your mind in. Let's get real cerebral right here. If money answered all things, nobody with money would ever divorce. Oh, God. But you can divorce somebody with money because you can't stand their guts. Money didn't fix that, did it? Sam Walton, founder of Walmart with $22 billion, died of cancer. Money didn't answer that, did it? Steve Jobs died with cancer. Money didn't. Did you say that money answered all things? Money, no. You ever read and understand the scriptures properly? You read it properly. Money answereth all financial things. It can't answer things that don't deal with finances. Money won't fix everything. Your money perish with you. You remember somebody tried to buy the gift of the Holy Ghost? That ability to be able to lay hands on folks and watch them get, and the apostles turned to them and said, your money perish with you. How dare you think that you can buy the anointing? The anointing is not for sale. It is not for sale. It's not for sale. You know, you do that out of passion. Those disciples that did that, they did that out of passion. And when you got passion in your heart, it makes it difficult for somebody to misdirect your path because your passion will keep you connected to it. But not many people are fulfilled by money. And there are some folks that are disenchanted by their mundane existence because they lack passion. Their lives are dull and boring and insipid. But I always get blessed when I am able to find somebody who's a genuine God-called teacher. You don't go into the teaching profession to get rich. If you do, you are in for a rude awakening. Real, genuine teachers are there for the love of the craft of teaching, and what stirs their passion is when they see a learning appetite in the hearts of the students. And when a student comes and they are eager to learn, it blesses the heart of a real, genuine teacher. You know, if I had anything to do with it, I would start lobbying for teachers to be paid like professional athletes. For the stuff they have to put up with, the rudeness of young people, and the greater rudeness that even comes from their mamas and daddies that come stepping up to the schools to call yourself defending your rude, rambunctious, contumacious, iconoclastic little knucklehead of a child. You need to sit your child down and say, if you don't go up to that school and act like you've got some sense, I will kill you myself. wish to God that discipline would come back into the home, where mothers and fathers would have enough passion to say, I'm not going to raise a rude, insolent little demon not in my house, not on my watch. If a child is wrong, tell them you love them and then tan their hide. Take their cell phone, their computer, their Xbox, take it away until they learn how to have some sense. They'll get some sense after a while. They really will get some sense after a while. But I just love it. I hope you see that I have a heart for teachers who are really God-called teachers. I pray that you will pray for our teachers and our school systems. We really do need to pray for them. We really, really do. And I celebrate them. The only drawback that I would have with teachers being paid like professional athletes is that then it would draw insincere people in who are coming into the teaching profession for the money. But trust me, the ones who are there didn't go there so they could retire early. They're there for the love of teaching, for the love of teaching. And there's nothing that makes your passion come alive more than to encounter people who have a love to receive what God has gifted you to give. And when you find that, it just something comes alive on the inside of you. Nothing blesses a cook more than to see somebody who is passionate about eating their food. I mean, I don't know, maybe I just had an extremely high metabolism. But my grandmother was an incredible cook. And she was one of those cooks, you know, that cooked 2 or 3 meats at one time and all of these tons of vegetables. She was a cook extraordinaire. She really was. And she wanted folks to eat and you clean your plate. You know, back in that day, you didn't waste food. You don't be telling them about what you don't like. You ate black-eyed peas and, I mean, you may not spinach. I don't care what, broccoli, cauliflower, you ate it. If it was on your plate, you were going to sit there until you ate it. Because that was money. And so, but when you've got somebody who's passionate about cooking, they love to see people eat. You want some more, baby? Can I get you anything else? Come on, have another piece. And they're just loading your plate up with stuff. The greatest joy to a real cook is to see somebody who loves to eat. I'm so glad that when God puts passion on one side, he puts passion on the other side. And I mean, I put down as much as I could get. And you know, by the time I finished college, I was 6'2" and 145 pounds wet. And I tried to eat everything I could get my hands on. My wife accuses me of eating all the time. I'm a passionate eater. And my statement is, you gotta eat. you gotta eat. You gotta eat. But I'm glad that whenever God gives us a passion to give something, he's going to put a passion in somebody else to receive it. The issue is trying to find the people who have the passion for what God has given you the passion to give. Find somebody, and see, when you meet up with the right folks, some people that I know who are gifted of God, passionately gifted of God, have become discouraged because they have not connected with the right body of people that appreciate the gift that God put in them. Sometimes you be bent out of shape because 50 people told you something negative about yourself out of almost 7 billion people on the planet. And maybe you're just in the wrong circles for your gift to be appreciated. Here's reason number 6. The true passion comes from within, and therefore is one of the few things that we honestly have absolute control over. See, even if we are careful with our own money, banks and governments and pension fund managers can do things on our behalf that will diminish our hard-earned cash. They have the ability to do that. But only we have the ability to diminish or cause to grow our own passion. Nobody else. God doesn't give anybody the ability to take away your passion. I mean, whatever it is that you're passionate about, don't let anybody take your passion away. People can say what they want to say about you. Here's number 7 that I would say. Passion is magical and it is intangible. It really is. Unlike money, passion cannot be stolen. Your passion can't be stolen. Nobody has a right to steal your passion. I mean, you can't steal my love for chocolate cake. I mean, you can get a slice, and just because you don't like it, don't blame me. It's not going to cause me not to like it just because you don't like it. You don't have control over what I like. I like it because I didn't make myself like it. I just like it. You ever tried something and you just like it? You don't have to apologize for what you like. It is what it is. If you're passionate about it, somebody else doesn't, they're not passionate about it, whatever, you know, you get your own playlist. You don't like my music, create your own. You know? But nobody has the ability, the authority, the right to diminish your passion, what you're passionate about. If I'm passionate about helping to feed starving children in Africa, that's my passion. It may not be yours, but if whatever it is, live your passion. Learn to live your passion. Live your passion. Live your passion. When you really got passion, people can't talk you out of your passion. I see some people that have been in talent shows and stuff that up on Apollo, and you know, it's damaging to your ego for somebody to gong you and to have the Sandman come there and usher you off. And it's got to be terribly intimidating on American Idol, you know, to have the folks there to just rip you to shred and just tell you that, you know, that the only person that would like you would be your own mama standing there in the front row. You know, and just damaging kind of stuff. But when you got real passion, you wouldn't care what Simon says or anybody else says to you. It's like you say, you don't know me. I'm glad Jennifer Hudson made it, even when they wouldn't give the title to her. Homegirl could bring it just because somebody else said, you're not the material. I'm glad she didn't believe the hype of the judges. I'm glad. Don't let them define your gift. You better stay with your passion. Even if somebody tells you you can't make it in there, that's your opinion. You know, you give me some time. Maybe I need a little more work, but this is my passion. Passion will make you better. You'll become better if you're a passionate person with mediocre ability than you are if you're a highly talented person, but you're lazy and undisciplined. You'll be better with a passionate person who has mediocre ability than the person with incredible ability who is lazy or undisciplined. Mark my words. Mark my words. But I'd never try to stop somebody, you know, who's got drive and passion. So even if a judge tells you, you know, you can't do it, you're not cut out for this, you ought to choose another career, and they think that they're doing you a favor. They don't have the right to choose your passion. You didn't choose your passion chose you. Your passion chose you. So if you got real passion, nobody can talk you out of it. If you're passionate about your dream, if somebody could talk you out of your dream, the dream is not for you. The dream is not for you. It's not for you. It's interesting how your passion will give you energy to do stuff you don't even have time to do. You can walk off a job and be just bone tired. And then a friend can call you and ask you to go out and do something that's a part of your passion. It's amazing how you get energized. That might be a woman, she's worked all day long, dealt with problems and complaining people, cantankerous people, and all of a sudden she gets home and somebody that she's really got her eye on calls her. What you doing tonight? Homegirl all haggard and strung out and everything. She's like, he's been here in 45 minutes. You're talking about energy? She's in the bathroom in the mirror trying to get her hair, putting on eyelashes. She's trying to get all of this energy. I mean, and what she was dragging, now all of a sudden she's running. It's amazing. Whenever you tap into a person's passion will make you do some crazy stuff. You got to contain your passion, but it's better to have passion that needs to be contained than to be dull and boring and insipid. It really is.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Join us again next time for Power for Living, where revelation is power. Power for living.